Thomas. Yes, this time. With 2:40 remaining. Florida State 10, Texas A&M 2. With a touchdown and a 2-point conversion could tie it, but showing no signs of moving the football at all against this rugged Florida State defense. The attendance 73,700. That's 1,600 over capacity. John Wimberly handles the kickoff chores for Florida State. Biggins, another freshman for the Aggies, trying to run it out of there. He loses the football. An A&M recovery. Cliff Gross. Derek Brooks knocked it loose. Gross on the recovery for A&M. Let's set the lineup tonight on CBS. Begins with the season premiere of Davis Rules, followed by Brooklyn Bridge. Then it's Jake and the Fat Man in 48 hours. That's tonight's lineup on CBS. Biggins fumbling that kick return. He fumbled earlier on a reverse attempt. Aggies just can't hold on to it. Now Bucky Richardson flushed out. And out of bounds. Tony Harrison was in the area. And a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
You're looking at the pressure.
Richardson's pass intended for number 18.
You're looking at the pressure placed on Bucky Richardson. You know, it's unusual that you see play action in an obvious passing situation, but everything that the A&M offense is based on the eye. And that's what they work on, is out of the eye. So far you have the play action, but very hard when you're a team that establishes the run to try to win the game with the pass.
Receiver downfield on the offense. Repeat first down.
You know, we haven't seen the swinging gate, have we?
That's probably all that's left in the bag now, or anything that you have an option of trying to gain yardage with.
I think you try anything. I really do. I think you try anything you have that might get you, you know, a big one, 15, 20 yarders. In this wet condition, someone slips and falls, you're back in this thing.
First and 15. Richardson pass knocked down. Dan Footman appeared to be the man who deflected it. Richardson's numbers now fall to 5 of 21 passing for 47 yards and 2 interceptions. The man who was 10th in the voting for the Heisman Trophy, Terrell Buckley, playing on the other side of the ball right now, was 8th in the Heisman voting, and of course Casey Weldon was the runner-up. So 3 of the top 10 in the game. Second down and 15. 2:19 on the game clock. Harrison has it, and he's out of bounds near the 30.
You know, it's hard. You know what's happening is just so hard for an offense for the routes to develop, because by the time Richardson sets up, then he has to take off running. And I kept my eyes downfield, and it's happened all day long. Every time Bucky has gotten into trouble, his receivers have stopped running. And it's just converse. When he's in trouble, then you run to help him, run to give him an alley to throw to, and that just hasn't developed today for these young receivers and Bucky Richardson.
Third down, 5 to go. Here's the pressure. No one in the area except for Leon Fowler. And 4th down, the Aggies will have to go for it with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. You know, I think the folks down in Waco can relate to this Aggie point total today. Back in the '81 Classic, Alabama beat Baylor 30-2.
You know, so much pride is said in conferences, but I think Arkansas lost, did they not, to Georgia?
Yes, they did, and yesterday
Baylor lost, and the way this is looking, this could be the 3rd Southwest Conference school to lose a bowl game.
this might be it for Bucky and the Aggies, unless he can pick up the 1st down. 4th and 5, and Terrell Buckley reaches in, knocks it down to make the play, and Florida State takes over on downs.
Tony Harrison, incomplete.
Yeah, you got to say to yourself, boy, if I'm going to try to get a 1st down, you know, I'm not going to pick on the world's greatest cornerback at intercepting passes. I think I would take that offense and go somewhere else with it.
2 minutes to go. A&M can stop it twice. Stop the clock twice.
Thank you for your cooperation.
You know what's so strange about this game? I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, feeling there is something big about to happen, and nothing's ever exploded at all.
No, all we've seen is turnovers, and, you know, so much was written instead about gadgets on both sides that you kind of sit here thinking, well, wait till this happens, but it just hasn't.
Sean Jackson bobbing and weaving to the 22.
And off to Sean Jackson.
Not even thinking about going near the sidelines. To the outside.
On the tackle, Eric England, number 92.
119 yards for Sean Jackson rushing today. A&M can make a stop short of the 1st down. They'll use the timeout after this play. 2 receivers sent to the right side. Bennett the fullback, Jackson the tailback. 2nd down and 3, and Bennett inside, hit right at the line. Marcus Buckley for Texas A&M. Terry, they're not using the timeouts.
No, they're just letting them go.
Why?
I don't know why. I really don't know why.
I don't understand
let me just
that.
say this. The only thing I can say is that to be able to drive the length of the football, you have to be able to move the football, throwing the football. I mean, really running layered routes, guys medium, short, and long. And this offense isn't geared to come back throwing the football, and perhaps that is. You know, I don't know.
You got a chance. You got a chance.
Exactly.
You know, that's the way I feel. Here, 3rd and 1, and Bennett near the 1st. He falls near the 1st at the 19. Casey Weldon thinks he has it.
You know, the one thing that's really, once again, I applaud both these defensive teams, both defensive staff. I think it's just been outstanding. Once again, I go back. This is the first college game that I have been to, let alone broadcast, and I've never seen kids that look so much like professionals. I mean that. I mean, these kids are huge, they're quick, they're fast, and it is amazing to me at how well they have played today. Offensively, wasn't much of a show except for Sean Jackson.
Bobby Bowden has won his 7th straight bowl game. Now 9-0-1 in his last 10 bowl attempts. And Casey Weldon's career comes to a close with a less than sparkling performance, but a victory nonetheless. Now let's get the report now. Down on the field from Jim Gray.
Okay. You know that? Enjoyed it, pal. Take care of yourself, Flo.
Bobby.
Now what? Yeah.
Bobby, congratulations on the victory there. There was a very sloppy game, 13 turnovers, 5 by your team. What was going on with the football out there?
I don't know. Gee, I don't know. Good hitting, I think. You had 2 great defenses playing. I've said earlier in the week I thought it'd be a defensive struggle. They had a great defense, and we did too. And
Were they the best defense you faced this year?
they looked as good as anybody we played, including Florida and Miami. I thought they were the 2 best defenses, but this one looks like you can play with any of them, to be honest with you.
Does this ease the the disappointment of losing to Miami and Florida, does this ease it for you?
Well, nothing eases that. But it's nice to win and at least go out on a winning note.
Bobby, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's go back upstairs to Jim Nance.
Thank you, Jim.